Hi guys, welcome back. Pillars in the Shop. So these are the legs that came off that very same table that I'd found on the side of the road. Well, not side of the road, in front of somebody's house at the curb. They were getting rid of it. You know, we talked about trying to figure out some other things to do it with it. And we did figure out something else to do with it, and that's a project that's ongoing that I'll share with you guys later. But what I saw, and I said before when we got the table, there's a lot you can do with these things. You know, I talked about splitting them, and I thought about chopping them up, making candlestick holders out of them. Well, as you can see, we turn this around. I've already cut the top off of one. And my thinking is, and of course I'm a little late, that's because I'm old, but what I thought the top way they were shaped, I'm thinking the way I cut them, they might make little mini tombstones. So, I thought I had this one split, so I'm going to have to finish splitting it. Try not to lose any digits doing it. And I meant to have it completely split before I cut it off the top of this here. But I didn't. I cut it off. And when I got through that and lifted the blade up on the saw didn't stop running. Let go of the trigger, it just kept running. And as you can see, I've already started investigating what was going on. And basically what I found, take this out of the way, was just about everything in this old handle was pretty rotten. The saw hadn't been abused, dropped, or anything like that. It just simply been in this shop, been in heat cycles, cold, hot, whatever, and just stressed all the plastic out. These are the two places that mount this here, the two places that mount the trigger through these two holes, okay? And apparently that broke loose. I'm not doing a very good job of showing you guys, but that broke loose. It should be on something like this here. And whatever held it together broke. So I'm about to find a repair, and I think I know what I'm going to do. But in taking the thing apart, you can see that this here broke off some. Some of the other mounting areas broke off. The whole handle is just barely there. So I'm going to have to repair this all the way around. But I think how I'm going to do this, hang in there with me. I got a glare on my screen so I can't see what I'm pointing the camera at. That's a little better. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to drill from this side all the way through the handle. Find me some small screws and bolt that trigger back on. And we'll go from there. We get that trigger on, then we can address these other little areas of the saw. See if we can get this handle kind of somewhat back together. Hey guys, one thing I want y'all to make sure y'all realize that I realize that there is no guard on this. I don't like having a saw without a guard. But the saw is so old I can't find them to replace it. I don't recommend using a saw this way. But if you do, be very, very careful. Alright, I found a drill bit I believe is going to work. I found some screws. I keep saying screws. These are actually little bolts. Hope y'all can see that. And I found some Teflon locking nuts. I put on the back side of it to help keep it in place. And so we're going to drill it out, see if it works. I'll get it in there. That's a little strong enough for the work. All right. Looks pretty good. It's got a little bit of plastic sticking out, you know, the other side of something whenever you drill it out, how it looks. This pocket knife burrs. This pocket knife just deburred. Well, let's see here. Oh yeah, that'll fit. Oh yeah, that'll fit. So we know we got that part going. I'm gonna do a little more investigation on these other mounting holes that mount the handle on there and see what else I may need to do with that. You see that one's broke. That one's broke. But that one's not. So I'm not sure. I may have to drill holes to those two to hold the handle back on because there ain't much there. But well, let's see. Sitting here talking about it, let's just find out. Whew, that's just better long enough, but it is long enough. There we go. Now we got the trigger in there. Bolts aren't going to interfere with it. I'm going to put these little locking nuts on there. I hope you can see that. And they have Teflon in them. Hope you can see that too. And see how that's going to work. I got to go get me a wrench to fit that though. I'll be right back. Alright, found me a wrench. Search, trying to make sure. I'm not one of those guys who can look at a bolt, you know, or a nut. Say, yeah, it's a 5/16, 3/8, 3/4, 23, 32, whatever. I gotta go get a wrench and make it fit. I don't know why I did that either. Guess what size this is? 10 millimeter. Everything's 10 millimeter. I can build a Peterbilt truck with a 10 millimeter wrench. I should have just grabbed the 10 millimeter, brought it over with me. Alright, so what's for that ramp? Let's get it on here and go from there. So, we got the 10 millimeter wrenches on there. Wrenches. Nuts. And let's tighten them up and try not to break the trigger. Alright, I'm going to do a little bit with my handheld screwdriver, try to snug them up. But I could probably break them with that. Well, that'll almost be snug. I don't want to take a chance of breaking them with that power driver. I know I ain't saying much. I mean, I can't chew gum and walk the same time either, so. Let's see. I guess it'll work. With the trigger. Then we gotta figure out how to mount the handle back together. So got it like that. If I hold it like this, trigger ain't moving. Okay, what's wrong? What did I do wrong? You know, I know what's wrong. You know what's wrong. Golly. Problem is that because those things broke off, I screwed those bolts in, it's got the trigger up against the handle, so it's not going to move. So what I'm going to have to do is go find some little washers, put on the back side, give me a little gap back here, and mount that trigger on. So let me go find some washers. We'll start from square one again so we can get this thing in. Alright, I got it in there. What I did was on the back side of this trigger, I used a tiny little nut, similar to this, but without the nylon insert in it. I just put a nut back there for a spacer. Apparently the one on top is broken a little difference than the one on bottom. I was able to get a nut on the top one. I can't get nothing on the bottom, but I think it kind of self-tapped itself in there. Regardless, it's in there pretty solid, and it's working. And it's not like I use it every day, so if I'm careful with it, I think it'll be all right. If it messes up again, I just got to go find a longer bolt for the bottom, I believe, and get it in there and maybe stop that and get it in more secure. Anyway, coming to a lost word. So now I'm going to put the handle on and see what I'm going to do about this. Like I said, this one's okay. I don't know if y'all can see this one here. But that one, and there's another one on the back side here, right there. This one's okay. But that will hold the handle to the motor. So if I take those out, the handle comes off. So I've got one holding it. I'm going to have to come up with a way to get this one to hold on to it. But I'll figure out something. I'm just going to try to find me some screws, actual screws this time that I can just screw into there and hold this camera back, saw back together. So let me work on that some, and if I get it done, I'll show you the finished product. I don't know if you can tell, but I've already got one in there. It's just a self-tapping screw, most likely from metal. And I don't know where they come from, but I got them for, but I save everything. I'm like a pack rat. And they work. You know, that's what makes it. That's all that matters. Look at that. Boom. Trigger's still working. Boom. I'm down here at the bottom. Probably pressing my luck. I'm going to do it anyway. Boom. Look at that. Now, this is one here for a motor. Ain't acting like it wants to go in there. Yeah. I think I'm gonna have to go find that little bigger washer though. Put in there than what it's got on there. I'll stand by, let me go find a washer. Alright, well I couldn't really find, I didn't have a washer small enough. You can see, I don't know if you can tell there, but the head is just a tad smaller than that hole. And I didn't have any kind of washer that was just a tad bigger than that. Maybe I could machine one and sanded it down or ground it down or something. I don't think it's worth all that. It's somewhat secure. I mean, I'm going to have to be careful. It's an old saw, but I think we got it. I'm going to test it. I'm not going to cut anymore with it. I'm not going to touch that blade because it is plugged in now. But you can see from that blade what it looks like. It's old. And you can see from when I cut, it was burning the wood pretty badly. So I need to get another blade for it before I cut anything else, because you know, a dull blade on the saw is the same way as a dull blade on a knife. It's much more dangerous than a sharp one. But let's see what's going to work. And hey, look, if I get to flop around like a fish or something, y'all call 911, all right? Don't let me just sit here on my own. Look at that. That's all we're going to do. That was pretty loud. So we're going to call that a win. Let me unplug it. Grandkids around. So we're going to call that a win on a saving old, I mean, this thing's old. It's a Delta. You know, it was actually my brother's, and he used it commercially. So it got its use. But how much Candace and I are going to use it won't be that much. If it is, I have another one at home that's a little better quality than this. That I'll retire this one and bring it over and we'll use it. But maybe we can get some more use out of it. All right, well, the camera kind of acted up on me a little bit. So anyway, we're going to close out this video. honestly, I'm trying to keep putting content out there. We got a lot of projects going on, and I think, and we are starting to put them out there. We got a couple that's in progress, and I got one I'm waiting on parts, and this should come out mid next week, and I think y'all gonna enjoy it. I hope you do. But anyway, so much on the saw. This is just all I was trying to do, get a little more life out of something, and like I say, it's not worth much, and if it decide to give up the ghost, well, we'll retire it and we'll do something else. Find out. Look, if y'all would subscribe, like, leave a comment. Love to hear from you. And as always, you guys, we'll see you next time.